This is going to be an interesting one and a quick one in which I'm going to actually take a contrarian stand in defending one Kathy Shu and her winning the recent pageant of Miss Michigan 2019. So for all of you who have been hiding under a rock, Miss Michigan Kathy Shu was stripped of her title after what appears to be racist, anti-Islamic, whatever you want to call it, tweets on her timeline surfaced. Now, as far as this is concerned, when some people look at it, they'll say, oh, she was just pointing out facts and statistics, and the list goes on. And obviously you will hear this from her right-wing supporters. Obviously those on your side are going to defend you to the T. That's just how it is these days. But if you look closer at the tweets, a lot of these tweets, quite frankly, scream of just intolerant behavior towards a certain ethnicity, and that is where a person like myself draws the line. And it's a reason why a person like myself doesn't pander to the rightists, because this is what the rightists desire. The rightists, just like the leftists, do not desire individuals, particularly individuals of a certain color, especially if you don't fit the stereotype, to basically not exist, or at best have no freedoms whatsoever. And a lot of this language basically spews that you are not welcome in this country, much less have the right to freedom, happiness, liberty, anything that everyone else seems to be welcome to. Now, if you want to look through some of the tweets that have been confirmed so far, there have been tweets from Miss Kathy Shu that have stated things along the lines of blacks having lower IQs, blacks committing more crimes, blacks being shot by blacks more than they are shot by cops. Now, this was the one that everyone was clinging on to and saying, oh, that's just facts. Those are just facts. Why are you going to mess with her for facts, you know? I mean, look, I don't care what she says about the blacks, even though I'm black, but as long as she's stating facts, you know, those are just facts. Because, you know, I'm being paid by the rightists, and it's not even the moderate rightists who just want their guns and low taxes. No, these are the ethno-nationalist far right that wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire. They wouldn't even lend me the fattest of their chicks. They told me, boy, you better spout those conservative facts and you better stay in that plantation. Yeah, we let you stay in the house, but it's still a plantation. Because if you for one sec think you going to go on ahead and have some dignity about yourself and defend something when you're being talked down to, boy, we will put you back in the field with the leftist Negroes. So I said, Mr. Charlie. Nah, I like it here. I like it here when it's cool and when where the ice is colder and where the people are friendlier, at least on the surface. And I don't care if you invite all the self-hating Asian broads who only date white men. Forget brothers. They don't even date their own Asian men. They only date white men. But I ain't gonna say nothing because God bless USA, MAGA, Trump, 2020, 2024, and beyond. I don't care if Miss Shu would hate my guts because I's a dark-skinned man. That's how a lot of these Negroes are. And we're going to have to call this what this is. This is some racist bullcrap. But you know what? I have to absolutely admit one thing that the Michigan Pageant Committee did wrong. And that was revoking her title. And you know why it was wrong to revoke her title? You know why? I honestly think it was out of line for her to be revoked of her title. You really want to hear it? Well, considering the fact that in the state of Michigan, this is the mentality that's common. This is the mentality that is mainstream. This is the mentality that defines states like Michigan and others, especially in this day and age. From my personal experience, I'll be honest. The black people in Michigan that I've met whether online or in real life, actually aren't that bad people, which is a surprise, especially considering the reputation and history of Detroit. But the non-blacks I've met from Michigan, oh, I am not impressed, to say the very least. If you look at the state itself, it's not known for being racially progressive at all. Not at all, at all. The state, along with dozens of other states, relish in the typical leftist, predominantly black cities, the Democratic-ran cities, which 9 times out of 10, I hate to say this, are usually mediocre at best and squalor at worst. And the suburbs and exurbs, which are usually 90% white and 10% anything but your black ass. Yeah, those far rightist, heavy rightist suburbs, which, you think they're right just because they like the Second Amendment, they like low taxes, they like true liberty policies of just not having government interference and intervention. Oh, no. They are hardcore red because they do not want to deal with a certain group of people. That is all that is. This is the same state that refused to vote a black man as a senator because he was married to a non-black female and had multiracial kids. I'm calling this down the line. If Ms. Shue was such a proponent of all individuals who are of the right, why didn't she, forget campaigning, why didn't she even put a basic bitch tweet out in support of John James? The state of Michigan was wrong in revoking Kathy Shue of the title of Miss Michigan, mainly because she represents Michigan to the T. And I'm not just picking on Michigan here nor the Midwest. There are plenty of Midwestern states that are like this. There are plenty of Southeastern states that are like this. Hell, there are plenty of Northeastern states that are like this. Even you go far west enough, there are some states in which you can look and see where a good amount of these individuals think like this. This is the typical tribalist mentality that most of America, at least by geography, holds. I'm not going to say by numbers, but on a geographical scale, the majority of this country thinks like Kathy Shue does. And it is just plain wrong for the Michigan Pageant Committee to revoke the title of someone who is in lockstep with the majority of people from her state. I'm just going down the line. I've seen the tweets. I've seen her white boyfriend. Yes, she has a white boyfriend. Whoopee, no surprise to anyone. This is exactly what I talk against. This is exactly what I mean by the rightist bull crap. Everybody can talk about the leftists all day. The leftists are a punching bag. The leftists are a joke, and we know this. We absolutely know how the left plays their games. And the fact that the left is jumping on her like this sort of gives more credit to the right by default. Because they aren't attacking Kathy Shue because she had these racist tweets. If anything, they're just attacking her for being a fangirl, a conservative thought for Donald Trump, and because she's good looking. Now, if she wasn't this much of a conservative thought, nor as good looking as she was, the mainstream media would not care. This is just another example of the left playing its usual tricks. Alongside that, of course you're going to have the right defending her. Most of flyover country is defending her, thinking that, she's just like another Lauren Southern or like another Tommy Lauren. I didn't see Lauren Southern nor Tommy Lauren throw blacks under the bus to this extent. That is where the difference lies. Tommy Lauren and Lauren Southern do not play race politics in order to smooch up to the dominant society. They don't play let's hate the black people in order to impress whites, particularly white men, and especially the basement-dwelling, borderline incel alt-right white men who wouldn't be able to score a basket in a Little Tikes hoop if their lives depended on it. Which, on a side note, this is the reason why I don't show up or get invited to a lot of these other sector manosphere communities. That's the reason why, because the majority of them are filled with guys who think like this, who think people like me should sit in the corner and be freaking incels while they go after all the other girls of all the other races because their own women will actually stand up to them. And I don't want to play that card, but this is the reason I say a lot of people who come to this country on their own will are usually the kind who either are preconditioned, already have it in their minds before they come here, or adopt the anti-black mentality. You do not see this from immigrants who go to places like Canada, especially Canada, or Europe, or Australia, or New Zealand, or even other places like Brazil, for instance. Name your country, name the list where it has a high amount of immigrants, specifically immigrants who have two nickels to rub together, and you'll see how they really are towards you. But only in America where you'll see this mentality happening, and we can't blame it all on certain immigrants. We have to blame a part of this on the mediocre Negro masses. Yeah, you know, the mediocre Negroes who think it's all good, that they can act all whatever and still expect people to respect them. But, oh yeah, I don't give a damn. You know, I was going to be who I was just going to be. And they just need to like me. No, that's not how the world works. Especially when you have a cohort of non-ghetto blacks who are being dragged down the mud with you. There are no sides that are innocent to this. In a way, I can't even blame Kathy Shu for her rhetoric towards blacks in a sense, because she's just taking advantage of an opportunity where if we had the opportunity, we'd do the same. And to be honest, I keep telling you all, take that opportunity in other countries. Go to countries where you will not be at the bottom of the totem pole. Go to countries where you're at the very least the buffer class. There are countries out there that are like that. And with that, I mean, all you need to do is just get a job or get a skill or get enough money to be mobile and live, or at the very least, work remotely outside the United States. There you go. For all you who stood around, I just told you how to defeat supremacy. And yeah, that is how you can take advantage of what Kathy Shu and others are doing. But yeah, there are no innocent sides to this. They're all douchebags in the end. And let's just leave it at that. Just make sure you do enough in order to put yourself in the position of maximum safety and advantage, as Kiri Gakure Jones would say. And in this case, that would be going to a place where you're not the punching bag of everyone else. Everyone else out there, always bet on X.